Today, we're talking about the incredible tech that's turning our cars into smart co-pilots. It's called Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, or ADAS for short. And believe me, these systems are a huge deal, because they're paving the way for the self-driving future we're always hearing about. So let's just start with the big question, right? What does it actually take to build a car that can see the world around it, think about what's happening, and then react, all before you even have a chance to blink? It's a massive challenge, and it's exactly what ADAS engineers are tackling every single day. And this quote right here, it just nails the whole mission. You see, while this tech is a huge step toward fully self-driving cars, the point right now isn't to replace you, the driver. It's all about augmenting you. It's like having an extra set of eyes, an impossibly fast reflex, a true partner in safety. And you know what? Chances are you've already experienced ADAS without even realizing it. If your car has ever slammed on the brakes by itself to avoid a crash, or maybe gently steered you back into your lane, or even just kept a perfect distance from the car in front of you on the highway, then yep, congratulations, you've used ADAS. Okay, so how does this whole thing work? Well, it all starts at the most basic level. You have to give the car senses. We're going to dive into how these systems actually see and perceive the world, because that is the absolute foundation for everything else that happens. What's so cool is that a car doesn't just have one kind of eye. Nope, it has a whole team of different sensors, and each one has its own special superpower. You've got cameras, which are amazing for seeing rich visual details like lane markings and road signs. Then there's radar, the all-weather champion that can see right through rain and fog. And finally, you have LiDAR, which is kind of like a bat, using lasers to build this super precise 3D map of everything around it. But here's the thing. Just like us, relying on only one sense would be super risky on the road. I mean, what if a camera gets totally blinded by the sun? Or a radar gets a weird, confusing signal? That's why the real magic isn't in any single sensor, but in how they all work together as a team. So all of this data from the sensors has to go somewhere, right? And that brings us to the next crucial layer, the car's brain. This is where the system takes all that raw information and turns it into a clear, understandable picture of what's happening on the road. It all boils down to this three-step process. First up, perception. The sensors and their clever algorithms identify everything: cars, cyclists, road signs, you name it. Then, and this is the most important part, sensor fusion. The system takes the info from the camera, the radar, and the LiDAR and combines it all to build one single super reliable view of the world. And finally, decision. Based on that unified picture, the brain predicts what could happen next and plots the safest course of action. And building a brain like this, well, it requires a pretty serious toolkit. We're talking powerful programming languages like C++ for pure speed, AI frameworks like TensorFlow to teach the system how to recognize things, and incredibly powerful processors that can handle all of this information in real time. Okay, so the car has seen the world and its brain has made a decision. But a thought is pretty useless if you can't act on it, right? So now we get to look at how the system actually builds the reflexes to turn that decision into a physical action. And this number just says it all. The entire process, from a sensor spotting a danger to the car actually hitting the brakes, has to happen in less than 50 milliseconds. To put that in perspective, that is literally faster than you can blink your eyes. There is zero room for delay. Absolutely none. The unsung hero of this whole operation is the ECU, or the electronic control unit. The easiest way to think of it is as this dedicated, super fast computer that takes the final decision from the brain and instantly translates it into a command for the car, like steer now, or brake hard. Now, when you're dealing with that kind of speed and that kind of responsibility, you can bet that safety isn't just a feature, it's the entire reason this technology exists. Every single piece of this system goes through an unbelievably tough testing process, a real gauntlet, before it's ever allowed in a car. And there is an official rulebook for it, a global standard called ISO 26262. Just think of it as the ultimate safety checklist. It forces engineers to think about every single thing that could possibly go wrong, a bad sensor, a software glitch, and build in protections to make sure the system is always, always safe. So how do they actually test this stuff? Well, it's done in stages. Early on, they use something called software in the loop, or SIL. It's basically a virtual practice round where the software runs in a completely digital world. Then, once the code is looking good, they move on to hardware in the loop, or HIL. This is like the final dress rehearsal. They take the actual physical ECU and plug it into a simulation that throws millions of crazy scenarios at it, just to make sure it reacts perfectly every single time. All of this incredible stuff, the sensors, the brain, the safety tests, it doesn't just magically appear. It's all built by a really specialized and talented group of people, the ADA engineers. And yeah, this field requires some serious expertise. An engineer's journey can start with them focusing on one tiny component, and then they can grow all the way to overseeing the entire autonomous system as an architect or even a chief officer. It's a career that's all about blending software, hardware, safety, and AI into one seamless package. And this quote just perfectly sums up their mission. The work these engineers are doing right now is making our drives safer today. They're saving lives with things like automatic braking. But at the exact same time, every single system they create is another crucial building block for the fully self-driving cars of tomorrow. So that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. For more than 100 years, a car has been a tool that we control. But ADAS is changing that. It's turning the car into an intelligent partner. So as that partnership gets stronger, how is our fundamental relationship with the very act of driving going to change forever?